Do you want to spend a fortune on expensive sleeping bags and sleeping pads, or do you want a budget sleep system that's guaranteed to work? Let me show you how. Winter camping, it can seem daunting, especially to beginners. If you don't get your sleep system right, you are in for a long, cold, sleepless night. Now, people will lead you to believe that you need to spend hundreds upon hundreds on expensive sleeping bags and sleeping pads. Well, let me tell you, that's not true. Today, I will be showing you my budget modular sleep system, and this thing works. Modular sleep systems, or MSSs, were originally developed by the military, but have also been adopted and adapted by outdoor enthusiasts. A sensible sleep system is generally made up of a ground mat or pad, a sleeping bag or quilt, and, depending on temperature and comfort, a further insulation item like a sleeping bag liner. A modular sleep system allows you to use the same gear throughout all 4 seasons. All you have to do is add in or subtract out the items needed for the type of weather that you'll be dealing with. Now, to save time, I won't be getting into too much detail about the individual items in the sleep system. I may, however, do a more in-depth review of the components at a later date. We're just going to get right into it. I'm going to find somewhere suitable to stop, and I'll show you all the items that I use in my sleep system. Simple as. Okay, so the first part of my sleep system is this. The 3F Ultralight Gear Sleeping Mat. This is your ground insulation system. Now, some of you prefer inflatable sleeping pads, and that's fine, but I recently made the switch back to the foldable egg tray style mats. I'm currently training my rescue dog Nara to sleep in tents with me, and solid mats are far more likely to stand up to her teeth and claws. Some of you may already have the Thermarest Z-Lite SOL, but I'm going to tell you why I think this mat is better. Now, I'm not hating on the Thermarest, in fact I used it for ages myself. I just prefer this mat, and here's why. It's 2 cm thick, just like the Thermarest, and is the same length, 183 cm. However, the 3F mat is 56 cm wide, which is 5 cm wider than the Thermarest. The 3F is also double-sided with shiny aluminium foil, creating more protective insulation from the ground. This is why it's rated as a 4-season mat, whereas the Thermarest is only rated as a 3-season mat with its single layer. Finally, the price. A Thermarest Z-Lite SOL will set you back around £50, give or take a tenner. The 3F is half that price at £25. I actually got mine on sale for just £15. Now, you will have to order from AliExpress, so as long as you're patient enough to wait for international postage, then I definitely get this mat. Okay, the next part of the sleep system is this. It is the Sea to Summit Thermolite Reactor Extreme. The Thermolite Reactor Extreme is the internal layer of the sleep system and is the first thing you will get into. Essentially, it is a sleeping bag liner that sits inside the sleeping bag to keep its interior clean. This liner, however, has a 110 gram hollow core Thermolite fabric, which creates wonderful insulating properties. Sea to Summit claim it can improve your sleeping bag's performance by up to 15 degrees Celsius, though to be honest, it's best to take the manufacturer's claims with a pinch of salt. It's slightly tapered, has a drawcord hood which can be cinched down, and is also super stretchy. I personally love how soft it feels against my skin, almost like soft cotton. Best of all, the Thermolite Reactor Extreme only weighs 378 grams and packs down super small. You can pick them up just now for around £50 to £70. The third item in the sleep system, and probably the most important, is the sleeping bag. This is the Aegis Max Ultralight. It's tiny, gets the job done. I absolutely love this sleeping bag. Made from 20D sil nylon waterproof material, it's stuffed with 800 fill goose down. It's ridiculously light for a 3-season bag at just 544 grams, and packs down extremely small. You've probably seen the regular lime version of the Aegis Max UL before, but I opted for the black one. It just looks nicer. Be aware that there are two versions out there, one with a hood and one without. I personally think it's worth spending the extra £20 to get the larger XL version with the drawcord hood. Also, please be aware that the company seems to be rebranding to New Door. It's the exact same product, just a different label. So, how much is the Aegis Max UL sleeping bag? You can pick them up just now for around £70 to £90. Finally, the last part of the sleep system, and what I like to refer to as the secret weapon in the arsenal, is the SOL Escape Bivvy. Although the SOL Escape Bivvy is essentially a fancy emergency foil blanket, it works great as an outer shell for the sleep system, as its reflective inner coating helps to retain body heat. Let's face it, if you're out hiking, you should be carrying something like this in your pack anyway. Even if you think you're unlikely to get into difficulty, you may come across someone else who is. I own two of these. One always stays in my pack and the other in the boot of my car. The SOL Escape Bivvy weighs just 246 grams and packs down small. You can pick them up for around £45 to £55 at the moment. So now you've seen all four components of the MSS, perhaps it's time to give it a practical test. As I'm sure you've noticed, the weather at the moment where I am is rather wintry. So this is the perfect time to demonstrate how effective my sleep system actually is. Now, I would have preferred to set up camp somewhere outdoors, but due to current lockdown restrictions, I'm forced to stay at home. I guess a garden camp will have to suffice. I've decided to use the Van Gogh Banshee for tonight. Out of all my tents, the Banshee is the most enclosed, so should offer the best protection from any chilly breezes. The ground itself is actually so frozen that I'm having to physically bash the pegs in with a rubber mallet. Luckily, I still have lots of old cheap tent pegs that I can swap in place of my more expensive stakes. Okay, so it's bedtime now. I'm just about to get into the tent, and as you can see from my breath, it is bloody cold. And let me show you the tent. Let me show you the frost on the tent. I don't know if you can see that, but the tent is looking a little bit sparkly. So that's me in the tent just now. It is really cold, but I'm in the full sleep system and I have confidence that it's going to keep me warm. But let me show you this temperature a second. It is -6 just now and it's set to drop quite a bit tonight. So definitely going to put this sleep system through its paces. Oh, wish me luck. So let me show you, this is my Thor firelight, but this is not what the video is about. This is just giving us a little bit of light. So on top I have the SOL Escape Bivvy. Underneath that I have the sleeping bag. Underneath that I have the bag liner, the thermal bag liner. And underneath the whole lot I have the pad. And I'm confident that that's going to keep me warm all night. So we shall see. Anyway, all that remains is for me to zip this up properly, get myself settled, and wish you all a good night. I'll see you all in the morning. Good morning. Well, It's still pretty cold this morning, and that was a cold night last night, but it was pretty good. So as you can see, I'm still in all my gear. I'm gonna jump inside, I'm gonna make a coffee, warm myself up a wee bit, and I'll tell you all about it. Oh baby, oh baby. Well, that's me. I've had a nice hot shower, I've got a nice warm drink, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm definitely feeling a lot more human anyway. I've managed to pack the tent away, I've packed the gear away as well, as you can see, and as far as last night goes, I would say that was a complete success. The temperature itself at -9 degrees didn't quite get down to that -10, but I'm sure you'll agree that -9 is a damn cold temperature to be camping in. And to be honest, with the exception of once, I slept right through the night. Now the reason I woke up once was because my face was really cold and my nose in particular was really cold, but that's to be expected considering that was the only part of my face that was actually exposed. Now I don't know how to rectify that, maybe wear a balaclava or something, but to be honest, I'm not planning on camping in that kind of temperature again anyway. And if you are planning on camping in that kind of temperature, you're probably better off investing in proper specialist gear designed for that temperature. This is good, but I wouldn't take it any lower than I did last night. So the sleep system does work, but I'm going to give you a few cons now. So, what are the downsides? First off, with all the layers, it can feel a bit restrictive. You have to essentially cocoon yourself in a mummy system with all limbs inside, so if you consider yourself claustrophobic, I'd probably give this sleep system a miss. Next, the SOL Escape Bivvy can be somewhat noisy when you move due to the material it's made of. Not ideal if you're a light sleeper. The final downside is that if you're using all the components of the sleep system, you need to be very conscious of your sleeping temperature. Individually, all the components are breathable, but once you start layering them all together, it makes it harder for moisture to escape. If you wrap up way too warm, then come morning, you're likely to wake up soaked in sweat and moisture, and that's something you definitely don't want in cold weather. I'd still say these are very minor cons though. After all, you're getting an effective, lightweight, 4-season sleep system for under £250. So what did you think of the sleep system? Perhaps you have an even better one, and if so, I would really like to hear about it, so feel free to leave a comment on the video. As always, if you enjoyed this or you found it useful in some way, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really makes a difference. Okay, thank you for watching.